Hello, folks. It's Friday. Time for Jaws. Jaws. Jaws lesson 3, if I am not mistaken. Today's a joke from Sharky. That's the Jaws voice assistant. This morning was why did the student eat his homework? Because the teacher said it was a piece of cake. So that some of the jokes is quite amusing. Some are not funny. Some are funny, but yeah, as you know, that's what I like to do every time before I start uh, the Jaws lesson. It is to tell a joke from Sharky, the voice assistant, and we'll definitely cover that in a future lesson. If you just to make you a little bit, what shall I call it, a little bit interested. Yeah, I believe my birds are um, heartily talking there in the background. You may be able to hear them. If you don't, that's good. If you do and you like birds, then I suppose that's good as well. All right, so let's jump into this morning's Jaws lesson.
Slower.
What I have to discuss this morning is the first thing. I also want to discuss the keyboard help in Jaws. That will also be the insert or in the Jaws key and the number 1 as in NVDA. And if you listened to my NVDA lesson, you would then basically hear it's the same. I'll press Jaws key and 1.
Keyboard help on.
And I'll press any key on the keyboard.
A, S, D, F, G, F, E, T, R, Y.
Nothing happens when I press those keys. Let's press the Jaws key and then the letter A to hear what happens.
Insert plus A document reading command says to the end or bottom of the current document or the bottom of the window depending on which cursor is active.
Right, so as you can hear,
Keyboard help off.
you toggle it just by pressing the Jaws key and the number 1 again. As you can hear, the keyboard help also works when you press the Jaws key and then another keystroke like A or maybe Jaws key C. And then the keyboard help also is application specific, where you can then be in an application such as let's say Microsoft Word, and then you can press a keystroke that maybe pertains to Word, and then Jaws will or would then also tell you what the keystroke is used for if it is in the help documentation, and you can write a script concerning that. Now, scripts is small little computer programs that tells Jaws on what to behave in certain circumstances. All right, so the second thing I would like to speak about today is what we call Jaws command search. Now, what is Jaws command search? It is basically, look, many of us, we may use Jaws and the commands for Jaws daily, but even the most advanced Jaws users will refer to a command because they don't use it regularly. Now, that's what Jaws command search is. Let me first access Jaws command search, and the quickest way to do it is Jaws key space. We call it a layer keystroke, meaning that you first press the first key sequence and then another keystroke. So we do that. We Jaws key space. You'll hear Jaws make a popping sound, meaning the layer keystroke has been, or the first layer has been pressed. Then I'm going to press a J for Juliet.
Search for JAWS commands dialog. Search for edit. Type in text.
Now, if the forms mode, meaning that is a setting in the JAWS configuration is active and set to automatic or auto, JAWS will make the sound that you heard now, the popping sound there, meaning it has entered into the edit field automatically. Otherwise, you will have to press enter if it's not set that way. So now I am going to type a JAWS command. Let's type. Let's type the word title.
T-I-T-L-E.
If JAWS finds something pertaining to that, it will display a list which you can arrow down to.
Edit title. Heading level 3 links a window title. Insert T.
When I pressed down arrow and I went out of the edit field, I found the first command, which then is also a link.
Heading level 3 links a window title. Insert T.
And it's also a heading. Now, this is a standard HTML web page, which you can then move between using H and Shift H. That's now the heading letter or the heading keystroke that you press. So it is also a link. So if I press enter on that link, JAWS will then close the command search window and perform that keystroke. You can also close the command search window by pressing Alt F4 or Escape, but I'm going to press enter on this link to hear what happens.
Enter. Title is Desktop 1.
There, JAWS read the window title. The title is Desktop 1. The JAWS command search is also application specific. So if I would go into Microsoft Excel and I would do the JAWS key and the space and I would search for comments or any Excel specific command, it would be displayed. If a Braille display is connected, JAWS will display the command used with a Braille display. But if a Braille display is not connected, the command will not be listed. That's all for today, folks. Thank you for joining me once again. Remember, you folks are welcome to email me, pd906156@gmail.com. Papa Delta, pd906156@gmail.com. And to then with suggestions or just to say hello or simply to tell me how good or bad this whole video thing is going for you and if you've learned something or not. Hopefully you did, and I will then speak to you next week with our NVDA lesson on Monday. Have a great, fantastic, awesome weekend.